Hello and welcome back to Green-HillGaming, where I share my passion of video games with the whole wide world. This is one of many Resident Evil Village discussions. In this Resident Evil Village discussion, I will be discussing the connection between Oswald E. Spencer and possibly his family as well to Resident Evil Village. So sit back, relax, stay safe, and more importantly, as always, enjoy the live stream. Now, some people may be watching this right now and they may be getting a severe case of deja vu. That is because I attempted to do this Resident Evil Village discussion live stream earlier today. However, I wasn't happy with the quality of that, so I decided to do it all over again. So don't worry, you're not getting a severe case of deja vu. I decided to press the reset button and start all over again with my Resident Evil Village discussion video / live stream. And hello to my viewer, you're very welcome to Green-HillGaming. This is the first of many Resident Evil Village discussion live streams. Great to have you on the live stream. Hope that you're keeping safe and well and enjoy. Okay, so I have discovered a massive, possibly being the main word here, because I do want to stress that everything that I am actually about to say is pure speculation. You've heard the saying, take this with a what did I say? Take this with a strain of salt, or whatever the hell it is, a pinch of salt. Sorry, take this with a pinch of salt. Well, in this case, you might want to grab 2 gallons of salt and throw it over your shoulder. Everything that I'm about to say here is pure. Thank you. I went a bit fucking brain dead there for a second. Who do I have in the live stream? There's a bit of a delay in the comments showing up. Nonetheless, whoever you are, thank you so much for helping. Grain of salt. Who do we have here? Thank you, Flat Platypus. Thank you for that. My mind went a bit brain dead there for a second. So take this with a massive grain of salt, and you're very welcome to Green-HillGaming, Platypus, to the first of many Resident Evil Village discussion live streams. This discussion is about the possible connection between Oswald E. Spencer and possibly his family as well to Resident Evil Village. And again, take all this with a grain of salt. Okay, so yes, so Oswald E. Spencer, single-handedly my favourite Resident Evil character of all time, and I may have found a massive connection between him, his family, to Resident Evil Village. Okay, so let's get discussing. Okay, so a couple of days ago I did a lot of research into Resident Evil 8 in terms of what everyone online was saying about it. I was watching their trailer breakdown videos and their discussions. I also looked into the lore of Resident Evil, and I found a possible connection between Spencer and Resident Evil Village, and then I posted it to my Facebook page, and so I'm going to read from that now. Okie dokie. So this is what I posted. I am trying my best to piece together all the available information on Resident Evil Village, combining with the lore of the series to predict some plot details of Resident Evil Village. I think the family of Oswald E. Spencer, or just Spencer himself, will play a large part in the plot of Resident Evil Village. The appearance of the women in the trailer, you know, the vampire women that we see in the trailer for Resident Evil Village, matches that of the aristocratic background of Oswald. The Spencer family are billionaires. They are European elitists. They've got a lot of money and a lot of power, and they have an aristocratic background, okay? That matches, like, Oswald E. Spencer and his family, his background matches, okay, the appearance of the castle that we see in Resident Evil Village, which I'm going to discuss even further, and even make the connection between Resident Evil Village and Spencer even greater. Okay, so, you know, you look at the castle in the Resident Evil Village trailer, it matches, okay, it matches Oswald E. Spencer and his family's background in terms of the design of that castle, okay, and the fact that him and his family have this aristocratic background. Okay, so Oswald E. Spencer grew up in his family's castle on the British coastline, which matches the setting of Resident Evil Village. I wrote this before I was aware of the fact that it would appear that the setting of Resident Evil Village is actually in Romania, okay? But do bear in mind that it is said that Oswald E. Spencer had many estates, mansions built for him around the world. Okay, so bear that in mind. He has many estates, so there's possibly many castles out there. In the trailer for Resident Evil Village, you can see a piece of stone with the umbrella logo that matches the Spencer coat of arms to an extent. Doesn't 100% match the Spencer coat of arms, but it would remind you a lot of the Spencer coat of arms that we see in Resident Evil Remake. Oswald E. Spencer felt he was to be a god, creating a new world with an advanced race of human beings. I think the Spencer family could have been a cult, and just like Oswald was using a virus to become a god of a new world, I think his family are using the E-Series project. Now from here onwards it's going to get a little bit, it's going to move towards the actual virus itself, you know, as opposed to the connection between Spencer and Resident Evil Village, but just bear with me. Or a new virus to bring about a new world where they will be its new gods. And I feel Ethan and Mia's baby is vital in their goals. Maybe to bring back Oswald in some form, like how Alex Wesker transferred her consciousness into Natalia. Okay, pretty deep stuff there towards the end of my theory, but don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. This is about the connection between Spencer and Resident Evil Village after all. Okay, so it doesn't end there. Okay, I have more to discuss. According to the leaks, and let's face it, the leaks have been 100% accurate so far. According to the leaks, flashlight gameplay is going to play a big part in Resident Evil Village. So we got a flashlight. We've got a castle. And apparently, according to the leaks, we're going to have hallucinations. What would that remind you of? Maybe it reminds you of Resident Evil 3.5. In case you don't know, Resident Evil 4 went through many changes in its development. One of those stages, one of those changes, or stages as well, and phases of development was called, just give me a second here now. Oh, please tell me I took a screenshot of this. I did, if I can find it. One of these stages in development was called the Castle version. So the Castle version was announced at the Tokyo Game Show in 2002. It is the first to star Leon, again, as the main lead, and revolves around the origin of the progenitor virus Spencer's Castle. Let me repeat that. Spencer's Castle. There's also something that I've just noticed there, the HCF. Give me a second, this was completely unplanned here now. I'm pretty sure the HCF, which was basically Wesker's military, basically. That was referenced in Resident Evil 7. They actually helped out with the Evelyn project. I could be completely wrong here now. Oh my god. It is the Hive Host Capture Force. I'm not going to go too much into this, but they were basically, they were the private special operations unit of Umbrella's rival company. Wesker was working for this company as well, and it was actually the HCF that attacked the Rockford Island base. Wesker actually led that operation, and they were attempting to retrieve the T. Veronica virus. But they're also mentioned in Resident Evil 7. They assisted with the development of the E001 series, the Evelyn project. That is very significant now. So Resident Evil 3.5 was supposed to feature the HCF. But more importantly, for this discussion live stream, Spencer's Castle. What do we see in Resident Evil Village? A castle. What do we see in that castle? A puzzle with 4 stones, with emblems, like emblem stones, and in the middle, the Umbrella logo. Man, I am onto something big here. Now, there was also version 2 called Hallucination. Now again, according to the leaks of Resident Evil 8, hallucinations are supposed to play a big part, and it is a sequel to Resident Evil 7, and Resident Evil 7 featured a lot of hallucinations as a result of the Evelyn infection. As Castle continued to develop, the hallucination version was spawned. This version was shown in E3 2003, featuring dolls coming to life in Leon's hallucinations as enemies to fight. This version relied on various assets recycled from the Castle version. Due to exceeding cost of development and limitations of the GameCube, Capcom scrapped the game instead of finding a workaround. Now, what's to say that long-term developers within Capcom felt like, you know what, we'll go back. We'll go back to what we tried with Resident Evil 3.5, bring it to life on next generation hardware. Boom. I am telling you, I am onto something here. So let's go over what I discussed, okay? Because I know that when I open my mouth sometimes it's like an explosion of words, and they go everywhere, and start to take everything in that I'm trying to say. So let's bring it all back. Okay? So I'm basically attempting to make a connection between Spencer, Oswald E. Spencer, and quite possibly his family, with Resident Evil Village. And I'm making that connection based off the design, the appearance of the castle which we see in Resident Evil Village's trailer. It's a nice looking castle, is the only word I can come up with, okay? It's a really elaborate castle. The kind of castle that you would associate with a very elite family, and you would almost compare it to aristocratic family. So, if you look at Spencer and Oswald E. Spencer and his family and his upbringing, he grew up in a castle somewhere in Europe. His family were billionaires because they were an aristocratic family. They were one of Europe's elite families. So that's where I'm making the connection between the castle in Resident Evil Village and, you know, the castle that Spencer and his family grew up with. And also, if you look at the women in the Resident Evil Village trailer, they're dressed very aristocratic. Again, Spencer's family, aristocratic. There's the connection. And the umbrella logo that we see in that puzzle is obviously in the castle. I don't think it's just, you know, lurking around in the village area or the woods area. You know, it's bound to be within the castle itself. And it's a key art. The Capcom are making this a key art, the umbrella logo. So why would there be an umbrella logo in some random castle in Romania? If this castle has no significance to the Umbrella Corporation, then why is there an umbrella logo in that castle? And you can't really think of Umbrella and castles without thinking of its founding father, one of its founding fathers, and the CEO and president of the Umbrella Corporation, Oswald E. Spencer, and his family. So Spencer is linked, in my opinion, to that umbrella logo, to that puzzle, because of what I just said. Sometimes I'm not very good with discussion videos, so you're going to have to bear with me. I do the best I can. Okay, so, and I think the most important connection really, and it's the most recent connection actually, I'd completely forgot about Resident Evil 3.5, but it's there. Capcom have already done this. Capcom already wanted you to explore Spencer's castle. Now, to be fair, they did go back to this with Resident Evil 5 Lost in Nightmare, where Jill and Chris actually go to Spencer's castle to confront Spencer. Little did I know they came face to face with Albert Wesker instead. But still, you know, still doesn't change the fact that, like, the majority of Resident Evil 3.5 story was set around Leon infiltrating Spencer's castle to kind of investigate the progenitor virus, which is the virus that started it all. So, and also, Leon is going around in that game with a flashlight. The leaks of Resident Evil 8 state that a flashlight is going to play a huge part in the game. So, is there anything else that I have missed? Is there anything else that I have left out? I don't really think there is. I was reading another guy's interpretation of Resident Evil Village's trailer. He was going in depth.
I'm not Jewish, but this drip is real.
What? Oh, that's a random. This drip is. I don't understand the comment, but nonetheless, Def to Neeg, you are very welcome to the end. Unfortunately, the end of the live stream. So I've been discussing the connection. The possible connection, take this with a grain of salt, possible connection between Spencer and Resident Evil Village. I don't know if I can add anything else to it, but wow, in relation to what now? Sorry, I just don't understand the comment, and I don't understand the response, to be honest with you. There's a lot of things I don't understand, to be fair. Anyway, okay, so yeah, what I wanted to say as well, before I wrap up the live stream, is I was watching another guy's really in-depth analysis of Resident Evil Village, and
I came to an end. Pause.
Okay, so anyway, in the real world, okay, well, that's not quite the real world because I'm discussing a video game. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so this guy was actually kind of on the same wavelength as I was. Because he actually mentioned the Spencer family a lot. He mentioned a connection between another key art that we see in Resident Evil Village's trailer is the that logo where you see like a feet in the middle and there's like crow feathers and like thorns, like a reed behind it. Now, some people have been saying it looks like the Umbrella Corporation, but he expanded upon that more, and he was kind of saying that maybe it's, you know, maybe this was what the Umbrella Corporation's logo looked like originally, but then he was making similarities to the Spencer coat of arms, which I did before I even read what he said. And he kind of goes into he goes very deep into he talks about the possibility that maybe that the Umbrella Corporation was a cult to begin with, you know, and that like the likes of James Marcus and Alexander Ashford were involved in this cult.
That's gangsta.
And I'm gonna follow up with that very soon, actually, in another Resident Evil Village discussion. So it's kind of nice to see like that somebody else is on the same wavelength as me, making the connection to Spencer into this game. So yeah, he's basically talking about the symbology of like the Spencer coat of arms that you see in Resident Evil Remake. You know, kind of making a connection between that and some of the logos that you see in Resident Evil Village. So I believe there is a connection.
You can't live forever.
I sure can. I sure can, man. Ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever again, boy. But yeah, I think I've argued, I think I've presented my case very well now, even though I did a bit of rambling, as Destiny pointed out. But yeah, and you know, I did want to always keep my Resident Evil Village discussions very kind of personal and independent. I don't want to be like just saying what everyone else is saying. I will listen to what other people are saying and kind of like to see if
What's
what they're
the next
saying.
stream?
The next stream is Resident Evil Remake. That is the next stream. I don't know when, but that is the next stream. Going back to where it all began for Chris Redfield. He's been through a lot. And it's going to be
Which one?
The remake, Resident Evil 1 Remake. It's going to be really in-depth. Like, it's not even going to be about me playing the game. It's not even going to be about me completing the game. I've completed that game a shit ton of times. I know exactly what happens in it. So it's not really about kind of Johnny plays Resident Evil Remake. It's more about Chris Redfield's story, like a deep analysis, a deep dive, a real breakdown of the Chris Redfield character and everything he's been through. So it's going to be a lot more talking really than actually gameplay. I hope that's okay with people. I think I can talk forever, man. You've seen nothing yet. Oh God, you've seen nothing yet. This is the reason why I share my passion with video games. You know, this is all about me sharing my video games, or passion with video games. Christ. So that's my next live stream. So there's nothing else I can add to this discussion live stream. I think again I've pointed out why I think there's a connection between Spencer and Resident Evil Village. Again, it's based off a few things in no particular order, but I do think that if you look at the original Resident Evil 4, which a lot of people call Resident Evil 3.5, because there was a lot of...
Are you an Aussie?
No, I'm Irish. The Resident Evil 4 went through a lot of stages, as I pointed out earlier, okay, and one of those stages was what people call Resident Evil 3.5, and it was when Leon was investigating a castle that was literally called the Spencer Castle. So I think that's a connection in its own, really, to be honest with you. And the fact that Leon was carrying a torch.
You don't have a strong accent.
Well, maybe I don't have the fake accent that America puts on every chance they get. But no, yeah, I've pretty much said everything I needed to say there. It's too soon to tell yet, like what Resident Evil Village is going to be about, whether Spencer is going to make some sort of, well, he's not going to make an appearance because he's dead. But I definitely do think that I'm onto something, at least when it comes to, like, the origin of Umbrella, Spencer's
I'm going
family,
to dip.
stuff like that. I don't even know what that means, but okay. I'm assuming that means you're going to go. Okay. So yeah, really is nothing else that I can add to it. Other than I think it's a very kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's really my discussion. It's really my analysis and my takeaway, my observations, really, as opposed to just like, I suppose, like just kind of copying what other people are saying. You know, I've heard some really strange shit out there, you know, but yeah, I think I kind of want to keep my prediction grounded to Spencer. I want to see as many, if I can make as many connections to Spencer as possible. But I obviously will be talking about other things as well, like, you know, like Chris Redfield, what's his past part in all of this in Resident Evil Village. Lots of other things, but I'm really, as you can tell, I'm really interested in the Spencer connection. I think that's something I'm going to be looking more and more into. In fact, there is a live stream coming up as well where I'm going to go in depth with Oswald E. Spencer. I'm basically just going to read word from word, it's like, what do they call it? The fan wiki of Oswald E. Spencer. I'm just going to read that word for word. That's what I'm going to do there. Okay, so that's going to do it for this live stream, for this first of many Resident Evil Village discussion live stream. So thank you for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you next time on Green-HillGaming.